Welcome to another episode of our podcast.
Let's move to the coaching company that you created. You've helped so many transition between careers. I read all the reviews on your website. Talked about mindset and transformation, connecting purpose with the skills that what our coach Mohammed Kibriya has taught us. So why do you think these things matter just as much as the skill?
I fell in love with teaching and I realized I have a skills of like presenting things from a different angle and visualizations and diagrams. And honestly, subhanAllah, almost everybody and every individuals I have met, it's like, it's like finding the hidden talent within them. And they're like, look, you have this
Yeah.
and you have this. Can you connect these two? And they connected. They're like, oh, I never thought about it that way. Right.
Yeah.
I would say like I think, a lot of these skills are from the community work, dealing with people. Like when you're working with people, like the interactions you have with individuals, right? You start to learn body language, you start to learn, verbiages, you start to pick up like, what this person, how they are. And then you start learning authenticity and community. Hey, you can read through, they say like the, elder folks, they can look at you and they can read through you. I think I was able to read through people and find their talents. So when we branded ourselves as inspiring business analysts,
Yeah.
I was telling them my logo is origami bird. So I can, I look at somebody as a flat, they're a flat paper when they first start, and then we work together collectively and we come up with something beautiful and unique to that person, to their skills. So I worked with every one of my students uniquely in one-on-one sessions or mentorship sessions because some of them had certain skills they were missing other pieces. So I was able to connect the dot for them, right? And it's important. Why? Because at the end of the day, a lot of people try to, when you go to interview, you put a mask on and you want to pretend like this mechanic. I was like, no, be real. Even in my interviews, I taught my students, so like, just be real, but don't be too real.
Yeah.
Right? Mix it in between. And when I constantly develop few models to help individuals transform within them, I enjoyed it. I seen their transformation. I seen their first day of class till the end of the cohort. I was like, look at the change that you made.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I loved it. And I think these are crucial lifelong skills I have to. I didn't just teach them because of the course or the content. I actually wanted to shape their paradigm. And I became their friends. I became their mentors. And they still reach out to me to seek advices and help. And I want them to say, I want to be able to say, hey, listen, you never have to take a course like this again, right? And that's the way I approached my teachings and process.
I want you to tell me what you would tell your 25-year-old version of yourself. You, Mohammed Kibriya, who was just starting out, but torn about financial stability and purpose.
Great question. And looking back, I lean towards the spiritual journey of my wealth. I have never seen a decline in my wealth when I submitted to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Obviously, these are high level conversations you can have. What's the practicality, right? There's what's interesting in our community, we hear like Allah has written your rizq. I never got this concept. I was like, okay, if my rizq is written, so do I just sit down and shut down? Is it going to come to me? No, it's in front of you. So your hand has to come out and grab it. So what is this hand coming out means? That means work, find. Don't just sit there because you studied, science or computer science, and you're just sitting there. Don't sit. Maybe, okay, get up and move. Find something else for a while, maybe. Don't just get caught up.
Yeah.
Point is, move. So if I'm telling my 25 years back, like, if I'm telling that to 15 years ago, I'll be like, move. Don't waste time. Don't sit there. Move. And that in itself is sufficient for you to find what you need to find. So if you don't find a job that you're looking for $80,000, go find a job for 40, but don't sit. Network, get to know people, keep knocking on doors. There's a book I'll recommend for the audiences, The Third Door by Alex Banayan. Great audiobook. He narrates it too. Excellent book. And that's like my secret to the third door mentality.
Yeah. Three resources. That's what I believe. You have to have at least three source of incomes to be able to do what you like to do without relying on that to make you money. And I learned that from my mentor, Bob Proctor. And I love the way he used to think. I am doing what I like to do, but I don't expect it to be my only source of wealth and income and money freedom. We care about money because it gives us freedom to be who we want to be instead of just laboring and slaving for making means. And that's one thing I really love our community, Shabab and Sabaya, young professionals, to start thinking of. Whatever money you're making, put whatever small aside for your passion. Work on your passion, create something out of it on the side that will make you $1,000 safety net. That's it. I'm not saying 10,000. I'm just saying start with that. And it can be done. Because I know a lot of young men who are struggling. The life here is very demanding, especially when you start having kids. It's like, oof, all the things are gone now. Everything is going to the kids, and it's very understood. You cannot just sit, as you said, just do one thing and expect it to be sufficient. Harness the gifts inside you.
Absolutely. And there is a young man in our community. He's doing like really well. He's in Dubai right now. He's really established. And I asked him about his schedule and his routine. I mean, he wakes up like 3:30 in the morning. And I was like, there's no way you can compete with somebody who wakes up at 3:30 and you're gonna wake up at 10 o'clock and you're gonna make the same life. You can't, right? So I think what you're saying is very crucial, is that you got to put efforts and time. And I like, there's a lot of, like, there's one sister, she was seeking advice, like, oh, I'm this age, I'm not married. I was like, you know what you have is the most valuable thing you have is time. And I was telling her, I was like, you don't understand what you can do. Yeah, you don't have any responsibility of a mortgage. You don't have a responsibility of, like, your bills are paid. You got such a opportunity. You can open multiple businesses. So, like, I think young people really need to understand is that the time is so crucial. Like, subhanAllah, like, again, if I was to do it all over again from the beginning, I was like, okay, time is the most crucial part, and energy, because your energy eventually starts to decline with your health naturally. Obviously, you need to stay fit and work out, do what you have to do. But at the end of the day, you still are not the same. You can't compare a 20-year-old to a 70-year-old. You just can't.
That's ask me, but I'm not 70.
So I think for, move and take advantage of that freedom and the space and the time you have, and take chances, open, go for your passion, go for that business that you wanted. Yeah, jump on it. Like, there's so many business opportunities I missed because, and by the way, I didn't have good mentors that told me, like, hey, jump into it and do it, right? Because I was feared of, like, losing job. I was feared of this because I had a responsibility, and that really kind of like shackled me. And I didn't realize, hey, I can still take a chance. I'm a lot more, privileged, if you ask me.
Amazing. That takes me to the next question. You said it shackles you, it chains you, the responsibilities. And I have a lot of these discussions with young professionals. When I tell them, go there, and they're like, oh, you're not speaking from our reality. I don't have time. By the time I get home, I'm so tired. I cannot think of anything else except rest and wake up the second day to go back to the job. And that is very real and very understood.
Yeah.
You're no different, Muhammad, right? I'm not different. You're no different. Burnout is very real. And that's what I've been speaking about, by the way, in season 3, is burnout and balance. But my question is, how do you deal with that? How do you balance all this? And tell me that you haven't suffered at some time. Like, I will tell you, no, I don't believe that.
I did suffer. Like, I mean, I had a lot of suicide ideation. I was, I had so many crises. The childhood trauma that caught up with me. There's so many things that hits you that if you're not prepared, it will knock you out, right? The internal work is so crucial. And when I say the internal, that means your ruh needs that work. Otherwise, you're gonna fall multiple times, and you're gonna fall no matter what in life, but you have to know how to get up, and that the internal work makes you get up, right? Prepares you to get up. That muscle has to be built slowly. But yes, I struggle. Like I tell people, and I share so many like times I told people, it's like I'm struggling. My prayer sucks because I'm not even paying attention in my salah because I'm not there fully, right? So yes, I faced burnout. I, went through a personal dilemma. I'm struggling even right now. I'm struggling, right? I'm not in the same spiritual alignment as my family is.
Yeah.
And being real is like I tell sometimes my friends, like, guys, I'm not there. I'm not present. I'm not connecting. And I tell them as it is, right?
Thank you
So
for
I think
sharing that. Thank you for your honesty and thank you for sharing that.
no, I mean, I think we ought to be real with ourselves, right? This is our and alhamdulillah, I have a blessed mentors that I can go check in with them. I thought about going through professional therapy. I haven't been able to build that up to myself because of maybe the generations that I'm coming from, right? I grew up in a tough love environment, hugs and holding. This was not my love language in my house. It was professional. Love was there, but it was not shown. Now I'm struggling to show the same thing for my kids. And I'm like, how do I like I'm not that sort of personal, right? So I think you go through transformation every decade. There's a spiritual transformation every decade you have to go through. You have to realign yourself with God. You have to realign with yourself. You have to realign with life. Every decade, it seems like. And that's one of my mentor, or Muzaffar said from Chicago, like, he's been my mentor for the last 2 decades. And that's what I was able to really regain some of the strength and courage because those Quranic studies really helped me to really see the reality for what it is. And I'm able to pick myself up, right? And go at it again. So yes, burnout is real.
Yeah.
You're gonna experience it. If the prophet, and I, not to like cliche, if the prophet experienced the hardship, who are we, right? If the prophet was thrown stones, who are we? He got up. How did he get up? Because he had his internal work.
Our prophet is human, but we live
Always.
in a very cruel world that is the hustle and the grind is like honestly like taking us down and not allowing us to breathe. And especially the millennials and the Gen Zs, they feel like pressure that they cannot even rest. And when they go vacation, as I mentioned in one of my podcasts, is like farming content is not vacations anymore. There is no relaxation. There is no spiritual connection. There is no like downtime. It's all like, oh, this picture, this outfit, this, and
Yeah.
it is really taking a toll on our bodies, um, and lack of sleep, like the main disciplines is not being there. How important is that? How important is the discipline? How important is that to have a balanced Muslim who is good for himself and for his community?
It only makes sense. I don't want to like just play a role of a hero when I'm not one.
Yeah.
Don't jump into the water if you don't know how to swim and rescue people, right? So learn to swim first before you become a lifeguard. Learn to, really hold yourself down and understand who you are. And it can take a long time to get to know who you are, right? And the way you get to know who you are is also putting yourself in these situations of service, of situations of, involvement in your community, in your society, in your work. The more you engage you are, you're able to, identify where those gaps are and fix them. Sometimes it could be a physical fix where you need to work on your body. You realize, hey, I need to be shaping up myself. I'm feeling exhausted. It could be spiritual. Hey, I'm not praying enough, or I'm not doing even my regular salah. It begins with a baby step. Just take that step. And sometimes it could be a career point of view. Hey, I'm not really engaged in the meeting. Let me renew my intention. So I think all of that is like recognizing in each areas of the focus is so crucial.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, every day matters. You're gonna get caught up because all of those are important. They have to be balanced out. You can't just focus on like I see so many young professionals that are like focused so much on their body. I'm like, what about your soul? Like, did you read a page of Quran today?
Yeah.
Like, did you read like you're spending 3 hours in the gym flexing,
Yeah.
but you're not spending enough time in your not really focused. So I think like that sort of it's not a one or the other. It's a combined effort and finding that balance. And I think that requires wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. and proper environment. Going back to your previous situation about the vacation and all that, this interesting fact happened to me. Just a quick scenario. I went to a funeral to one of my friends' mom. I never met her before.
Yeah.
And I realized this friend came to my life after 2010-ish. That's how I met him. That's how me and him, we got close. And then I went to a funeral for one of my mentor recently died about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. He's been like my soul and anchor. And I realized I know his mother so much more because back in 90s, I used to go to his house and his mom knew me. My mom knew him. We had a different relationship because there was no cell phone at that time.
Yeah.
And then versus the friend in 2010 plus, when I went to his mom's funeral, I didn't have any connection with his mother because I didn't even know her.
Yeah.
So I think that sort of authentic relationship is being disappearing from our community of not just visiting each other's house physically, disconnecting from the social world is also deterring us further away.
Yes, I totally agree with this point, and we have to do a lot of work on that.